Hello everybody out there in Flosstube world. This is Vicki, the Virginia Stitcher, coming to you with another Flosstube video, another update on what I've been up to the last 3 weeks. I think it's been about 20 days since my last video. So welcome everybody. I hope you've had some wonderful few weeks in this beautiful fall time if you're here in the US. For those of you in Australia, enjoying your springtime, I hope. And I have lots to show, so grab a cuppa, whatever you're drinking, whether it be coffee, wine, water, and sit back and relax, and hope you enjoy. So the first thing I wanted to do was give you just a small little, I got some notes. I'm just looking down at my notes, because if I don't have notes, I'm all over the place. As you know. So what life updates over the last 3 weeks, the only thing I can really think of is we celebrated my son-in-law's birthday. He had a birthday at the end of October, so we got together and did that. And also we were able to celebrate, he got promoted. He is in the Army, and he made Master Sergeant. So we just, I feel so great for him. He's been studying and working really hard. He's had deployments and just a variety of things to get him where he is now. And I am so proud of him, and I'm so glad that, you know, he's excelling and doing very well. And as I told you, my daughter and their 2 boys have moved to Virginia. They moved here in the summertime. They were staying with us for a couple of weeks while they were waiting for housing on post to be available. And so it's been great having them back here in the state. They are probably about without traffic, an hour away, but with traffic sometimes here on the 95 corridor, you can probably guess heading up to Northern Virginia that it's going to be more like an hour and a half to almost 2 hours back and forth, but at least that's a lot closer than they have lived in the past. Another life update is I just got back from a weekend, a crafting retreat with about 20 ladies. We have been doing this for right around 20 years. And we do a variety of crafts. It started out as scrapbooking, so most of us would scrapbook. And then it kind of branched out to painting and drawing, card making, some scrapbooking, knitting. One lady was taking old photos and loading them into her computer, old family photos, so that there could be copies for the whole family of these really old prints. Let's see, what else were ladies working on? I worked on cross stitch. So that's what I did while I was gone. So we just had a great time. It's just wonderful to get together with those women. They're just superb. I look forward to seeing them every year at this event. And it warms my soul, and it recharges my spirit. So really enjoyed that. So what I want to do is let you know, I did have a finish and 2 partial finishes. So I want to get started with those. The first one I'll show you will be my finish. And that was my 2021 Prairie Schooler Santa. So I was able to get him finished. This was stitched on 18 count vintage country mocha. And if I forget to always mention this, and I had one lady comment and ask me how many threads do I use, and I almost always, unless I state otherwise, I stitch with 2 threads over 1 on 16 count, or over 2 on 28 or 32 count, and also 18 count. So this was done on 18 count, 2 threads over each, 2 over 1, with the called for DMC threads. And this is the 2021 Santa. The only thing I did leave off, because I did not want to stitch the words, winter woods, and I didn't want to stitch this little dash border around the edge, but I did stitch all of the rest of this. So what I had left to do was his head. Santa needed his head, his hat. I needed to do all this little back stitching and do this owl. So I was able to finish this one. And I will move on to another one, and I think it's going to be this 2018 Prairie Schooler Santa. So that is on my radar to start next in the Prairie Schooler Santa line. And I have a big piece of fabric. I have it all folded up here. So I have a lot I can probably fit about 8 Santas on this piece of fabric. And then it's all wadded up over here. But because I double it over and I put it in my Q-snap, so it kind of helps get it out of my way. So I don't have such a struggle with a big piece of fabric hanging there. So that was my finish. And I'm not going to fully finish this probably anytime soon. I know I might see if I can get the next one finished, and then maybe finish both of those at the same time. And I had shown in a previous video some fabric I had purchased to finish those, to have a back on there, but I'm trying to think if there's, I might want to try to make a hanger with some ribbon, so I need to look for that before I fully finish these. So that was my finish. And the next is what I would call a partial finish. I had told you guys in my plans last video that my goals were to finish my Prairie Schooler Santa, and I did that, did that. And another goal was to finish my first block on Halloween at Hawk Run Hollow. So that's that block right there. And I wanted to finish it. And I did. So let me get that out for you guys. This one is being stitched on 16 count Aida in the color J, J-A-Y. And I have finished block number 1. Let me see if I can hold that out straight enough for you guys. So there you go. I was able to come in and do the back stitching, and was that all I had left? I think that did the little French knots in the eyes of the bat and the spider. The spider didn't have little legs. It didn't have the spider webs. Oh, and if you look really close on the center section of that building, there are some, it's hard to tell, but there was back stitching for some slats. Every 2 stitches, there was a row of back stitch. So I did put that in. And the little tongue for the snake. It's really hard to tell, but there is some back stitching there. So this was block number 1 of my Hawk Run Hollow. And that means I still have quite a few blocks left to go. And I've got plenty of fabric here to finish that one on. So that is what I would call a partial finish, because there is a lot of stitching in each of these squares for the Hawk Run Hollow pieces. It's like finishing a small to me, you know, a smallish project. So that is a partial. And then my other goal was to finish the part number 1, the January section of the Fruits of Plenty Stitch Along by Modern Folk Embroidery. It looks like this. So this section right up here was the January section, and the last time you guys saw it, I had the outer part done and the berry bowl done. So I still needed to come in and stitch in all of these little flowers and things and the bird. And I was able to complete that. And this one is being stitched on a 16 count Aida in an off-white color. I'm not sure, this might be white chocolate, but it's just an off-white Aida. And I am stitching it, the colors I have picked for this one are 2 DMC colors, and I can let you know what those are. I think it's 3808. Well, let me grab that out of my bag here real quick. And I can't remember what the other color was. It was 2 colors. Sorry for the crinkling. Yes, 3808 was the darker color. And 597 for the lighter color. So these are the 2 colors that I'm using to work on my Fruits of Plenty by Modern Folk Embroidery. And like I said, I didn't even, I was really late to the party on this one. I didn't even order this from Modern Folk Embroidery until I think July. But I do have the first section done. So next will be to work on the February page, which will be this page with the heart right up here. So we'll see when I can get around to getting some more work done on this one. I just have so many WIPS, as you all know, that we'll see when I get back around to this one and how long that takes. So those were my finishes. I had 2 partial finishes and a whole small finish. Now I have quite a few WIPS to show you guys. So the first one is one I've showed you before, but I pulled it up and I'd worked a little bit more on it. I wanted to get a little farther on this piece before the end of fall, since I usually like to work a lot in season. But this one is by Autumn Lane Stitchery, and this is Autumn Town. And like I had said before, everything is solidly stitched. All of the trees, the houses, the pumpkins, the sky. The only thing that's not stitched in are the green parts in between here. And that is the color of the fabric. This is actually, they recommend you pick a green fabric to stitch this one on. So I am stitching this one on a 32 count even weave, a Lugana, in the color green. It's just a green Lugana. So it doesn't have any mottling or anything like that going on. Let me see if I can I just took it off the Q-snap today because I was working on it some this morning. So this is how far I was able to get. So I have been working up on the first page, which is this. I've been working on this section right up in here. So I got most of these houses in this sky done. Next, I want to, try to come down here and get these buildings in. So that's how far I was able to get on this one. And I am using DMCs for some of it. The sky is a DMC color. The green is DMC. The red is a Victorian motto color. It's called Santa's New Suit. And then the orange is a color by Be Stitch Me. It's a silk. And the brown tree is stitched with a variegated overdyed. There's very, very little variegation in there. This one had a lot of variegation. And I'm not sure if I'm liking that because it's almost got a Neapolitan look to it. You got brown stripe and then you got orange and a darker orange. So I don't know if I'll pull that out or just leave it. So, and that one was another Be Stitch Me, and that one I think was called Pumpkin Patch. And again, I'm using 2 threads, and that's 2 over 2 on 32 count Lugana. But the red is this Santa's New Suit color. So that's the red for the red trees. And then I am using some silks for the orange trees. I had 2 different ones. Let me take it off this ring. I have, in this project, I'm using a lot of the floss away bags and putting my my threads on a ring. But this one, the one that gave a lot of variegation that I'm not sure if I'm loving the way that one's coming out on this project, is this color right here. you can see that it goes from yellow to orange to brown. It's got quite a bit of variegation in it, and it is a silk by Be Stitch Me, and it's called Pumpkin Patch. Oops, I'll show you the back. So that one's called Pumpkin Patch, and it's really beautiful. Her silks are nice and soft, and I love working with them, but I'm not sure the way I was stitching it if that variegation is working. So the other orange I was using for the other orange trees is by Be Stitch Me, and this one is called Mild Sauce. And it has very, very, very slight variegation in it, and I really love her silks. They're very nice to work with. So those are the orange colors I'm using. The red, like I said, is a Victorian Motto. And I think all the rest are just DMCs for the most part. So that is what I'm doing for Autumn Town. Let me see if I can get this all together. I'm not going to throw it all in its bag, but I at least want to keep it together so I don't get too have too much of a mess going on here. So let me put this all aside and show you the next one. The next WIP that I was working on is a piece that I was watching Flosstube. I was watching Lisa the Kindred Stitcher, and she showed her finish for Hoity Toity. It is beautiful. If you don't follow the Kindred Stitcher, I'd, just if you want to see a beautiful finish of Hoity Toity, she does a lot of samplers and really pretty, pretty things. Go over to her channel and see what this one looks finished up. But Hoity Toity is by Long Dog Samplers, and I have Hoity Toity, and I'm doing mine on a 16 count white chocolate Aida. And let me get it out of plastic so I can show you what it looks like without glare. But Hoity Toity looks like this. And like I said, it's by Long Dog Samplers. And I started up here in the upper left-hand corner. And I had a little bit done on this one. So here I am. Here's how far I've been able to get. I had a little bit done up in here in the very, very corner. I didn't have this filled in. I didn't have some of these filled in. In fact, I don't have that one still filled in. So I came in and I did all of this, filled in some of this, and then came down and I worked on all of this here. So all of this down in here is what I have worked on in the last couple of weeks. I think I picked it up and worked on it 2 or 3 days. And like I said, this is 16 count white chocolate Aida, and I'm using 2 threads over one. So I'm I'm using all DMCs, but I did switch out a couple of the colors. But Lisa did hers in all the called for DMCs, and it is absolutely gorgeous. I have switched out this darker color here is actually a really dark blue color, and I'm using DMC 823 in place of 310. And then for these areas that are in pink, these pink colors, I've switched out. They were more of an orangey-ish color, but I switched them to 3685, 3687, and 3688. So I wanted to go with a little bit more pinker and a little more bluer here, but the rest of them are all the called for colors. And that's where I was able to get to on this one. I love this piece. I think it's really pretty, but like all Long Dog samplers, they are not a quick stitch. They do take quite a while to finish. Oh, I can show you what all the colors look like together. So this is my, these are the colors for my Long Dog. So, like I said, I switched in pink colors. So, and a dark blue instead of black. So that's what these look like. And these are all DMC. So that is that WIP. And then, I'm sorry, my throat was fine, but right before the video, I decided, you know, let me take the dogs out because they haven't been out in a while. And whenever I go outside, my allergies start really bothering me. And now I'm having a problem with my throat. And I haven't all day. I haven't had to clear my throat or anything. But I start my video and that's what happens. So the next one is my stitch along that I have going for my channel, my Facebook group. I have a Facebook, The Virginia Stitcher, a Facebook group. So if you want to join, just go to Facebook, look up The Virginia Stitcher, and there are a couple of questions you need to answer. If you do not answer the questions, I cannot accept you to the group. I'm just trying to make sure that they are legit people wanting to join the group. So I won't accept people that don't answer the questions. So if you have tried to get into the Facebook group and you haven't been accepted, maybe you didn't answer the question. So try again would be my suggestion if you're still interested. But anyway, this is my stitch along that I started on August 1st. And in my stitch along is to do any Twin Peak primitives, any which one you want. And the one that I have selected is One Nation Under God. And it looks like this. And I had started in the middle. I had done a middle start on this one. So I was starting on this banner in the middle. And I was able to, before get, you know, half of this banner done, just this section here with this vase and flowers, this swan, this lady here with this archway. I did this flag, just the top part. I haven't done the pole. And I've done part of this big pot of flowers here. So I came in, and excuse the wrinkles on this, but I didn't have time to iron everything. I took it off its Q-snap because I wanted you to be able to see the whole thing. And this is stitched on 16 count Ada in the color Beautiful Beige. Oh, well, that's sorry about that. And that's how far I was able to get. So I did come in, let me stand up here. I did come in, and how I've worked the banner so far, the way I'm tackling that is I put in the wording first. So I came across and I came back from over here and I did all of the lettering up to here. And then I went back and I started filling in the green for the banner. So that's what I was able to get done. I worked on it for a couple of days and I filled in the letters and I got this much of the green filled in. So when I pick this up again, I want to, you know, continue on with trying to get this banner filled in. And hopefully I'll be able to get that. And like I said, sorry for all the wrinkles. This is where it was kind of stuffed into the Q-snap over here. But this is going to say Pursuit of Happiness, but I didn't finish the lettering there. But let me let you see it a little bit more up close. And I still have my thread attached. But this is One Nation Under God by Twin Peak Primitives. And this is how much of it I have been able to get finished. This one is done with some of the called for, some not. So it is with a mix of DMC and some colors I pulled from my stash because I either didn't have some of the colors. Is it DMC or is it? No, it uses overdyes. So I had some of them. I had some of the overdyes. It's calls for a lot of Weeks Dye Works. Some of them are Weeks Dye Works, but maybe not the called for. But look at my nice, neat little bundle of crazy flosses here. And this one is the green color that I'm using for the banner, and it's Valley Green by Victorian Motto that I've had in my stash. So these are the colors that I'm using for that one. I don't know if you could get all those colors now, so if you want what I'm working on, if you want to know what the colors are, I can certainly let you know. But it is being stitched on 16 count Ada, and it's with 2 threads over 1. My next one I showed to you last time, and I was able to work a little bit more on it, so I'm going to show it to you again. And this one is my map of Hawk Run Hollow. Let me see if it won't glare too much if I don't take it out of the plastic. So this is map of Hawk Run. And when I showed it to you last time, I had most of the hawk up here. I was still filling in some of this brown, and I had some of this border done. So I picked it up and worked on it like 2 or 3 more days. And this one is being stitched on 16 count Aida by Picture This Plus called Heartland. And I picked this one, like I said before, because it looked a little bit like a weathered map to me. And here is how far I was able to get. I still have my string attached there because I'm still working on that. But I was able to come in and fill in the rest of the head portion, the body portion and head of this hawk. I still have the long wing that'll go all the way down to the bottom corner. And I was able to, and I came in here and did the other couple of tree trunks. So I still need to come in and put all the green there. And then I was able to get in and start working on the banner that the hawk is holding in its mouth. So like I said, this is 16 count Aida in the color Heartland by Picture This Plus. And you can see a little bit of the mottling in there. So it just gives it that little bit of weathered look to me that I like for it. So I still want to come in and work some more on that one. Hopefully soon. I'm loving this piece. I just really enjoy working on this one. I don't know what it is, but I really do. I really enjoy that one. I enjoy all of my pieces. And my hair, I'm due for a haircut. But sometimes I just get really hooked into one in particular and just stitch, stitch, stitch. Now, I told you I went away for the weekend and I was stitching at this crafting retreat I went to with a bunch of friends. And the first piece that I pulled out to work on was by Brenda Gervais. And this is Winter Rose Manor. Looks like this. And I had already had all of this border here, the fence, the 2 birds, this one flower, these trees, this motif up here, the cartouche, I think is what it would be called. Had that kind of stuff done. But I wanted to come down here and start working in this house. And let me tell you, this house is no joke. I know some of you have probably stitched this and you'll know. This one is being stitched on 16 count Aida. I think this is Beautiful Beige. I don't have it written down. And I am using some color choices that I have, some switches I have made. And here again is my lovely flosses. They are lovely. It's just I tuck them down in my bag and then they get all kind of messed up, but they still work. But the color I picked for the house is a color called Rose Glow by Classic Colorworks. So it's a very, very light pink. Because this is supposed to be a light pink house. So I came in and I was working on the house. Let me get it out here and show it to you. And again, excuse the wrinkles. So this weekend, I came down and I first did the flowers that this bird is perched on. And then I came in and started filling in all of this pink down here for the house, the side of the house. And then I decided to come over here and start on a window, one of the windows, because I thought maybe if I start breaking up the pink and putting in a window here and there, because there are quite a few windows that need to be put into this house. So I was working down here, just in this little section. And I tell you what, that right there, I'll show you the whole thing up close. But right there was probably, I worked on it the whole first evening and then again the next morning. I think I worked, probably 8 hours. Of course, I was talking too, so, But I only got this much done at the retreat on this piece. But I'm loving it. I think it's coming out really nice. And this white is really popping off of this color. And like I said, I think this color is Beautiful Beige. don't have it written down, but I'm pretty sure that's the color. And like I said, I've changed some colors. So the colors for these berries and these hearts is a different color. It's called Mother's Day. And I think it's it's a Weeks dye work color called Mother's Day. And it has lots of variegation in it. The only thing I was waiting to see, though, is once I put in the pink of the house, it looked like the lighter colors of the pink in there were kind of blending in too much with the pink of the house. So I'll have to see what I think of that. But that's my Winter Rose Manor, and that was the one piece that I was working on this weekend. We got there around Thursday afternoon and left Sunday afternoon. So, and as any of you that go on retreats, crafting retreats, cross-stitch retreats, or whatever, you know that you always hear people say that they don't get as much done as they really think they would have gotten done. And that is true. A lot of talking and laughing going on, and just, enjoying each other's company. So, I worked on that one. And then the other one that I worked on was, since I finished my one block in Halloween at Hawk Run Hollow, I got out my Christmas at Hawk Run Hollow, and I was working on that. Sorry. So I had already had this first block finished. So I wanted to come in and work on this block here. So this is all solid stitching. The house, all of this down here. The only part that's not is this little bit in the background of like the sky that's not stitched in. So the rest of the weekend, I worked on this one. And this one is on a 16 count Aida. Let me see if I can find the color for you. And this is with the called for DMCs. And here they are. And this one's on a 16 count Aida in the color Lamb's Wool. Wait a minute. Is that the same color? No, it's very close. No, this probably, I was thinking Winter Rose Manor might have been on Lamb's Wool also, because it kind of looks very similar, but the Winter Rose Manor is on a little bit darker color. Well, I came in, and I'm kind of proud of how much I was able to get done on the second block. And here we are. I still have my thread attached for the roof line. So I'd already had this block finished. So I came in, and it took me, a good while to just get the box in. So I started working on this one evening, got the box in, and started working on the fence. Got up the next day, worked on the fence all the way through to probably about dinner time. And then so that evening I started filling in some of this, and got up the next morning and was continuing on, and I decided to come up here because there's a peacock on the ground here. So I thought, okay, this is solidly filled in, and I wanted to go ahead and just come up and start filling in the house. So I started working up here, came up on this roof line, and started working on that. But that was how much of this I was able to get finished. And like I said, that's two strands, because you can see my 2 strands hanging out over here. 2 strands over one on 16 count Lamb's Wool Aida with a called for DMC. So I'm using the DMC conversion for this. This is a big piece of fabric, because this is going to be a big project when I get all 12 of those squares done. And I'll let you see so I had done the fence, and then this much of I guess that's like snow on the ground maybe, and then this part of the house. And that's how much I was able to get done. So there's still quite a bit left to do to finish that block. Like I said, these Hawk Run Hollows, each block is like a mini finish. It's just, there's so much stitching in each one. So if any of you have stitched a Hawk Run, or you're stitching a Hawk Run, I know you can attest to that. So that was that WIP. My next one is Oh, some new starts. You know me, I started some new things. One of the things you know that I was going to start, it was in my plans, and I wanted to do hashtag Black Sampler November that Jacob from Modern Folk Embroidery is doing. And it was started on November 1st. So on November 1st, I pulled up my choice for the Black Sampler September. Drop something on the floor. And that is A Year in Silhouette by Joan Elliott. So it looks like this. And I wanted to get started on the January portion. So I did. And I am stitching this on 16 count Aida in the color Charm by Picture This Plus. And this is how far I was able to get. So I was able to get most of the border done, and I started on the sky. So you can see the silhouette of a house, the moon. I don't know if these are stars or snowflakes. And then the negative space looks like trees. So I'm really loving this piece. So I haven't got down yet to do the actual ice skaters at the bottom, but I had done this part up here. So I still need to come in and fill in the rest of this. And on this, this one page, this design is divided into 12 pages. This one page includes A and B and a little bit of this design here. So it encompasses a little bit more. So when you come over here and do February, it'll include C, D, E, F, I think part of G. And then this one will include H and I in this. And then down here, they'll include the alphabet, the rest of it, with the next sections. So that is my hashtag Black Sampler November piece. And I love the mottling on this Charm fabric. Really, really like that. And I knew that black thread was going to look really nice. And that's just DMC 310. I'm just using DMC 310 for that one. So that's what that piece is being stitched with. And then my next start says the girl with a lot of starts and a lot of WIPS is Night Walked Down by the Blue Flower. And it looks like this. And I wanted to do an upper left-hand start. So I'm starting it in the upper left-hand corner. I didn't get too far on this because I got busy doing some other things. I think Black Sampler November, I started that, and a couple of days later left for my weekend away, and I didn't bring it with me. But I am using the Bestitch Me. This is, the tag is on it. This is by Brandy from Bestitch Me, and this is a 32 count Lugana in the color After the Harvest. And this is how far I was able to get. Let me put something behind there so you don't see the reflection so badly. But I'm loving how this is looking on this fabric. This is more of a bold choice for me. I usually use more softer mottling on my pieces, and I'm loving stretching out, getting out of my box a little bit and trying some other fabrics. And that's why I really wanted to sign up for Brandy's Fabric of the Month Club. So this was her Fabric of the Month for October. And no, I don't think it was it October or does it say September? This is the September neutral for 2021 Fabric of the Month. And like I said, this is a 32 count Lugana. So I wanted to stretch myself and try some more even weave and also some different kind of colors. Really like how this is looking now. It's really, really pretty. Looked foresty to me. And since this looks like a lady walking kind of in a forest to me, you know, I know you don't see peacocks in the forest, but with all the wildlife and the flora and the fauna. Just thought it was would be really cool for this piece. So that was one of my starts, and that's what I've done on that one so far. And I am using the called for threads on that one. And then my next start is another piece that I'm stitching on, another piece of Brandy's fabric. Is Winter Wisdom by Cottage Garden samplings. And it looks like this. And again, I started in this upper left-hand corner. And I have, let me move my needle minder out of the way. This is on 32 count Lagana by Brandy from Be Stitch Me. And this fabric is called the Garden Party, from her fabric of the month for, I think this was the October one. This was the last piece I had, well, the piece before. Is it October? No, I think this might be August. I don't know. I get so confused. But it's Garden Party by Be Stitch Me. So if she still has this in her shop, you could ask for Garden Party if you were interested in it. Has some kind of oranges and greens going on. And this part here is the part of the branch. And I started on the bird that is right here. So I started on this bird and just a little bit of this branch here. And I got a little bit of that greenery at the top. So that's what I've been doing. Let's just see it a little bit closer. And I'm loving it on this fabric. So I'm not using the called for colors because here again, here's a copy I made and I have scribbled up and picked some colors of my own. Most of the time when I do that, it's because I don't have the called for colors and I have a little bit of a stash here. So I will go through what I have and see if I have anything that looks close to what the called for colors are, and I'll switch out. Sometimes I switch out the colors because of the fabric choice that I make. But a lot of these were picked because I did not have those particular colors. So most of these were calling for Weeks Dye Works, and I didn't have most of these. So instead, it looks like I switched in Color and Cotton. Looks like some Classic Color Works, some Victorian Mottos, so things that I just had in my stash. So that is that start. And then I had one more start. Yes, I did. I should just call this, what is it? Brenda and Laura, Brenda and the Cereal Starter. I could be Laura's sister by another mother. I guess I start all the things. Okay, so the next start I had was Prairie Schoolers Christmas Village. And again, I did an upper left-hand start. And I was really enjoying this. This was the one, I think this is the one that I picked up and I was working on before I left to go on my retreat. And I probably worked on this for about 3 days. And this is how far I was able to get on this piece. So this is up here, when I do the back stitching, it'll say trees. This looks like a bunch of lumber stacked up here. And there is a sleigh with a horse pulling a sleigh that is loaded with some Christmas trees. And back here, I think I counted 52 trees. And so far I have, what, 7? So I got a lot of trees to put in. I sat and I counted them and I thought, well, if each time I pick this up and I start stitching on it, if I could put in a few trees, look at all those trees across the top. I just did these few right over here, but I've still got all of these trees to put in. So if I try try to break them up and put in a few at a time, I can get those finished. But this is, and you can see that candle through there. This is how far I was able to get. This is 16 count Ada, and it is using the called for DMCs. I usually can use the called for DMCs. And this 16 count Ada is cut by Picture This Plus light blue Ada. It's just a light blue color. Oops, you can kind of see that through there. Let me try that side. So I almost have this whole building done. I have a little bit of back stitching. There's a little red ribbon on this wreath hanging here. And I think that's about it. Oh, and some more little things hanging on the pole there. But here's the little sleigh. This is probably, it's got a flag flying off of it. I don't know if it's a post office or a school. I have to look with my glasses. But I had been enabled with that one by watching, I told you a while back, I was watching Just Keep Stitching with Pam and Steph. And it was an old video back at Christmas time, and they had it hanging on the wall behind them. And it just kept catching my eye. There's something about Prairie Schoolers that are just simple and classic that I really, really do like. And so I wanted to get started on that one. I do have just a village one. I think it's just called just a village sampler. I think it's called the Village Sampler. And this one's called the Christmas Village. So something kind of similar to that, but a little bit different. So that completes everything that I've been working on. That's it, people. That's all I did. I didn't do anything. So those were the things that I had been working on these last almost 3 weeks. So the next thing that I wanted to go over is I did receive some happy mail. I had a wonderful viewer of mine, sorry for the crinkling, contact me. And her name was Kathy, and I'm not going to share her last name because I didn't ask for permission to give her name out on here. But she asked me, she reached out, emailed me, and asked if I would like to have a few Dimension Kit Mirabilias /Mirabilias. And I said, absolutely. I would be glad to find them a new home, you know, whether it be with me or somebody else. And so she sent a lovely card, a little note in it. And when I opened this package, I'm going to tell you people, this made my day. This completely, I mean, I told her, I emailed her back and I said, you made my day. I was literally doing a happy dance, literally. They're so pretty, all of the pieces. So the first thing that she sent, and didn't take it out of its packaging because it has not been opened. This is by the Gold Collection, and it's a summer stroll. So it's got this Victorian looking lady strolling through. It looks like a park, like a riverside. Beautiful. So it is kitted up, I think it's with 18 count Ada. I think it is. And all of the flosses that go with it. This is, yep, 18 count ivory Ada fabric is included in the kit, and all of the flosses. Just lovely. I love how they've done the shadowing on her dress. It's so pretty. So that was one of the things that she sent to me. And then she sent me 2 Mirabilias. And I have never seen these 2 before, so I don't know how. I wonder if the date is on these. I don't know if they put a copyright date anywhere where you can read without opening it. But this one is Lady Hera by Nora Corbett. Look at that beautiful peacock and the blue of this curtain. just pops off of that fabric that they chosen there. I do not see a copyrighted year on this one. I'm looking, and I don't see anything. The description says, a peacock with magnificent plumage of electric blues and teal greens lingers in the royal garden amongst urns and yellow roses. He and his mistress await the subtle glow of the sunset when all things are golden and brilliant. So she sent me that one. And then she sent me this Mirabilia. And this one is called Garden Beauty by Nora Corbett. And the description on this one says, this is a classic and timeless heirloom design. A rosarian tends to her English garden. Her dusty blue satin gown is accented with clusters of precious antique beads. The fairy tale border drips with roses, gems, and lush velvet brown ribbons. It is pure garden romanticism. Isn't that beautiful? She sent me that. And then this had been on my wish list. And so now I don't have to worry about trying to go ahead and purchase this one because she gave it to me. And this one, you know, was something that I saw so many people doing. And actually, Cindy, that I went to StitchCon with, she showed it to me. She was working on it, had it at StitchCon. And I've seen several floss tubers and people on Instagram showing their progress on this. And Chrissy, finally a farm girl, stitched one for her daughter. Did a couple of changes to it, but did this. And this is Flea Market Flowers by Lori Holt, Be in My Bonnet. And I'm looking at maybe starting this in the spring, making this a spring start because of all these beautiful flowers and these beautiful colors. So that was my happy mail. And I'm telling you, Patty, if you're watching this, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This was just wonderful. You guys don't have to send me anything, but it sure is fun to get happy mail, you know. The other thing is my haul. So my haul is, I got my fabric of the month and my silk of the month from Bestitch Me. And this one is the fabric of the month for October and the silks of the month for October. Let me take it out of plastic. And like I said, I get the 32 count Lugana. And this one, I'm getting every other time, I think is the neutral and then the color and the neutral. I believe that's how my fabric of the month is going, or I'm getting a combination. So 32 count Lugana, and this is an 18 by 27 piece. And this one is called Cardinal. Look at that. It's a beautiful, almost kind of a raspberry, pinky color of fabric. And so I was looking at this and I'm thinking maybe a Mirabilia would look really pretty on this. Who knows? I know I'll find something perfect to put on this piece of fabric. But the fabric that she uses, her base fabric, I don't know who the manufacturer is, but her fabrics are beautiful to work with. I was working with those 2 new starts on her fabric, and they're nice fabric, really nice to work with. And then, and like I said, I was using some of her silks on my Autumn Town. This is her October silk of the month, and it's called, the collection is called Nova. Oops, let me see if I can hold them all up here. And these are the colors. So we have, and they're 10 yards each. This one is Petunia. It's a beautiful pink. This one is a kind of a combination of all the colors. This one's called Nova. Then we have Periwinkle. And this one is Baby Blue. And this one is Hydrangea. So this one's more of a purpley blue. So the reason I wanted to get her silks of the month, I don't have really any silks. So I wanted to start collecting some from her and maybe start working on getting a little bit of a collection of silks. The ones that I have worked with, they're so soft. They pull through the fabric so nicely. So this was my silk of the month. And then I needed to order for my night walk down piece. I needed to order some more of the flosses that I needed for that one. And since I was placing an order for some floss, which, you know, I don't like to just place an order for, you know, $10 worth of stuff, I added a couple of charts to my order. A couple of that have been on my wish list and I was looking at. And the first one is by Bygone Stitches, and this is Quaker Christmas 2. So this is one that has all of these different, the titles of all these different Christmas songs, Christmas hymns and songs. So I purchased this one because I love Quakers. I love the Christmas songs and stuff. So I thought that one's really nice. And the Proper Stitcher on Flosstube, Annie, she is doing a Quaker Christmas Sal, and she's doing the Quaker Christmas, the original Quaker Christmas 1 by Bygone Stitches. She's doing the other one of this. But she said you could do any Quaker Christmas. You could do this one, that one. I'm not sure when I'll start this one. I don't know if I have a piece of fabric yet for this that will work for this or not. I have to look. I do have threads that I know will work, but because I do have a stash of reds that will work. And then the other one, this one is by Sampler Cove, and this one's called Double Dutch. And I just thought that was really, really pretty. There's only 3 different colors in this one. They call for an antique gold dark, rosewood, and midnight. And you could actually make it any colors you want. So I'm not sure what flosses I'll pick for this one. I don't know if I want to go and maybe try some sulky threads or or maybe get some silk threads for this one. Not sure. So that was my haul. And that is that. So the next thing is plans. As you all know, I can make plans and I can break my plans. I don't stick to them. They're not set in stone. But I like to do plans to give me a little bit of a guideline and something to maybe kind of shoot for, but I don't get all bent out of shape if I don't meet my plans. So one of the plans that I have is I'm in part of a group, the hashtag 24 hours of cross stitch. I'm on that Facebook group. So if you look up 24 hours of cross stitch Facebook group, it's led by Jen Lee. She's a floss tuber. She hosts every so often. She'll put out there to, I think it's about once a quarter, where for a whole weekend you try to stitch for 24 hours, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. You could either be team sleep, where you break your 24 hours up and you might do 5 hours here and 6 hours there and 2 hours over here, and try to go for a goal of 24 hours over the whole weekend. Or you could be on the, I don't know what the other team is called, but it's like go hardcore and just stitch 24 hours straight. And I was watching her video that she had up recently that her and her mother did that. She, I guess, went to her mom's house and they were staying up. And you could tell they were getting punchy and giddy because they hadn't had any sleep and they were stitching. So, and they were both trying to work on their, I think it was called Consider the Lilies. Big, huge, large sampler. And they were trying to get that finished off. So I'm a part of their group, and she puts out on her Facebook, she puts out an acrostic every month. So this is the November acrostic. And you could either choose count stitches, and you would have to pick something that may be correlated with the letter C, the letter O, U, N, so on, or track minutes. So what kind of a stitcher are you? And I can track minutes better than I can count stitches. I might just say, hey, I've worked 2 hours on something or 3 hours. So I picked this side and I came up for something for each one of the acrostics and a goal for each of those things. And so far I have met these 3 goals. Hoity-toity, I worked, I wanted to work 10 hours on hoity-toity and I did that. Autumn Town, I wanted to work 6 hours on Autumn Town. I actually worked a little more than 6 hours. This is where over here I just track my hours. I just kind of keep tick marks. And then the other one was Christmas at Hawk Run, and to work 6 hours, but I did way more than 6 hours on that because I was working at it at that retreat. And then I have put in a couple of hours on One Nation, but my goal was 12, so I still need 10 more hours to meet this goal. So I still have, there were 13 altogether. I've met 3. I still have 10 more. So that's one of my plans, is just to try to work on these. Also, I still have my WIPGO board going, and this one is by Jessie Marie Does Stuff on Flosstube. Jessie Marie does these WIPGOs, and she is going to continue it and do it next year. She's going to do a WIPGO 2022, so that's going to be in my future plans, is to go ahead and make up a WIPGO board. But I am still working on my WIPGO for 2021, and I just finished number 3 this last couple of weeks, and that was hoity-toity to work 10 hours. And so it met my goal here and here. I kind of doubled that one up, so I was able to cross that one off. I still don't have a WIPGO, or, you know, like a bingo. If I get this one down here, which is pandemic, to work 10 hours on Long Dog's pandemic, I could have a WIPGO there. I'm trying for a blackout. I don't know for sure if I'll make a blackout, but I'm shooting for it. I'll shoot for it again next year. And if I get most of them done, that's great. Each one, that's just something I've checked off on my goal. And if I don't get them all done, I'm not going to be really upset at myself or anything, just like this. So far, I have 3 of these met. So that's great. I've met 3 of them, but I still have 10 more to try to shoot for the rest of the month. So we'll see, you know, next time I check in with you guys, we'll see how far I was able to get on these. So those are my plans, is to work on things like that. I have been getting out some Christmas pieces and working some on those. I've been starting to feel more in the mood for Christmas and winter things. Another plan, as far as for my Flosstube, is I would like to do a video. My plan is to do a video that'll show you guys all of my WIPS and patterns that I have for Christmas winter. And I might title it something like Winter Wonderland Extravaganza. I did a fall extravaganza. I'm planning on showing you all my winter pieces that I have, winter/Christmas. So that is a plan. I'm hoping to get that in sometime soon. Let's see, is it tomorrow? No, Thursday, the 11th, is Veterans Day. And I do know my son-in-law is going to come, and he wants to spend Veterans Day with my husband. They're both, my husband he's retired Navy, and my son-in-law, like I said, is a Master Sergeant in the Army. And the 2 of them want to spend Veterans Day hanging out. So I know he's coming, and I believe he's going to come and stay the night here. And I don't know what all they have planned. Who knows what they're up to. So I don't know how much in those plans I'm going to be involved, or if I might just say, you guys go have fun. You go do your oorah, whatever, your thing. So, and let them have fun and enjoy their Veterans Day together. So, I might get a lot more stitching done this week. I might be busy. I'm not sure. I still need to plant spring bulbs out in my yard. This is now getting perfect weather. It's starting to get kind of a frost a little here and there in the evening, at night. So I need to get those bulbs in the ground. And I still need to paint part of the living room and the upstairs. So I have other things on my radar to do, but whenever I have downtime, I like to relax and do my stitching when I can. So we'll see. I'm going to check in with you guys hopefully in a couple of weeks with that, not 3 weeks like I did this time. And then in December, I have a stitching retreat in Ocean City, Maryland. So I'm going to be heading out to that, but I should be checking in with you guys at least once before that. I'd like to do, like I said, I want to show you my Christmas winter WIPS and patterns. And also I would like before the end of the year to do a plan video, do a Flosstube update, giving you guys what I'm penciling in and slating as thoughts for goals that I want to set and plans I want to set for 2022. So I want to get that one out to you guys before the end of the year. That's my plan. And that's what I'm shooting for to do. So in the meantime, you guys keep being great. Until the next time, be well and be happy. Ciao.